The Hattiesburg Police Department is asking for your help to solve an armed robbery case at a liquor store on Highway 49. One Hattiesburg student is getting the chance of a lifetime to work with some of the most powerful political figures in the country, all while the government is at a standstill to try to come to an agreement before the shutdown deadline on Friday. And we're still monitoring that cold front and its aftermath as folks across the Pine Belt begin to return to their regular schedules. The news at 5 starts right now.
This is WDAM 7 News at 5.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Before we get to those top stories, we're in the First Alert Weather Center with Nick, and not quite as cold tonight, please.
Yes, no,
right?
not quite as cold tonight. And the good news is this is the last one for the, and I hope everyone's sitting down for this, foreseeable future. Now, past the foreseeable future, it's South Mississippi, who knows? But let's take a look outside Alpha Insurance, the camera network out there at Forest General. Back to you guys over at the desk.
All right, appreciate it. Now to those top stories. Hattiesburg police need your help finding an armed robbery suspect. Police say Jarvis Devontae Anderson walked into South Point Wine and Liquor on Highway 49. He grabbed a backpack from behind the counter, tried to leave the store. Police say store employees got into an altercation with him, and he pulled a gun, then ran off toward Edward Street. A Jones County man will spend the next 20 years in prison after admitting he shot to death a 17-year-old in Laurel back in 2016. 20-year-old Michael Crumbly pleaded guilty to second-degree murder in the death of Tamarick Drummond. Before sentencing, Crumbly apologized to the Drummond family. Also in Jones County Circuit Court, a Wayne County man pleading guilty to sexually abusing a 10-year-old child. James Graham Jr. was sentenced to 13 years in prison for those charges, plus burglary.
Hattiesburg Historic Downtown Association held its annual meeting today at the train depot. The annual luncheon is held to show the association's membership how the year has progressed, and the event also shows new members the benefits and rewards of being involved with the group. Now, awards were given for entrepreneurship, volunteerism, and participation. And Hattiesburg architect Larry Albert was awarded a lifetime position as a board member during the event.
Downtown Hattiesburg's Coney Island Cafe is about to reopen for one day only for one special event. Next Thursday, January 25th, staff from Crescent City Grill will reopen Coney Island to cook and serve breakfast and lunch as a fundraiser for Billy Fokakis, the owner of Coney Island, who's fighting cancer. And that evening, the staff from Mahogany Bar will go to Coney Island and serve special drinks and appetizers. That money will also benefit Mr. Fokakis. Local musicians that evening will perform next door in the Regions parking lot on Main Street. And Oak Grove Senior is one of two students from Mississippi chosen for the 2018 Senate Youth Program. Noah Harris will meet with U.S. senators, congressional staff, the president, and federal agencies, and get a $10,000 scholarship from the Hearst Foundation as well.
A bill cleared the Alabama Senate Tuesday, which will try to remove the need for a marriage license in Alabama. Senator Greg Albritton's bill would eliminate probate judges and clergy from having to sign a marriage license. Now, instead, a couple will offer a probate judge a notarized document that meets the criteria of getting married. Now, some of the opponents say this is a reaction to the same-sex marriage ruling, while the bill's sponsor says this is a way to eliminate controversy and bring state law in compliance with federal law. Albritton's bill has cleared the Senate like it has 3 times before, but now it goes to the House, where it has also failed 3 times.
President Trump visited the Pentagon today and blamed Democrats for a potential government shutdown he says would damage our military readiness. He said the visit was a show of his support for America's armed forces and to point out how a shutdown could hurt our national security. He says it is Democrats who are threatening to block a funding bill that needs to pass before the Friday midnight deadline.
If the country shuts down, which could...
Now, the president himself threw negotiations into some turmoil by tweeting that he was against a children's health insurance provision in that bill. Congressional Republicans are the ones who came up with that.
The top 20 finalists for Amazon's second headquarters are in, and the e-commerce giant announced Thursday it narrowed down proposals to 20 cities from 238. Now, most of the top contenders are well-known cities like New York, Atlanta, and Boston, and they are all east of the Mississippi River except Los Angeles and Denver. Toronto is the only city outside the U.S. to make the cut. The company says it will take a closer look at each finalist and make a final decision sometime this year.
And over the course of the next couple of days, we will be warming things up. Tomorrow, we're into the 50s, the 60s by Saturday, pushing 70 by Sunday. You know what that means, though? Rain's probably not too far away. We'll talk about that coming up after the break. Stick around.